Okay. If you guys are just tuning in, I was having some streaming difficulties, but I think I fixed them. Give me just 1 second here. Everything was a little I get this weird like audio interference thing. So sorry if you guys were caught in the middle of that, but I should have fixed it. My bad. Shit fucks up. I don't know how to work technology perfectly, but I'm doing my best. So this will be the start to the weekly wrap up slash Q&A. What it is I go over the week, talk about the podcast guests that I've had on, give you guys some insight, tell you some things that maybe you didn't pick up from the podcast itself, and also do a Q&A, so a live chat, live stream sort of thing, talk with people on the live stream and get to know what you think, answer your questions, kind of just be more interactive. I've wanted to do that and set some time to do that, so that's Fridays at 5 p.m. That's what I'm trying to do. So again, if you were on the podcast before, I just started again. I was having some streaming issues, but I fixed it. So we are back, and I apologize. I'll get back into Monday. I was talking about the Hall brothers. They came on. The Hall brothers are YouTubers, and what they do mostly is it's not vandalism, but they definitely go into like Apple stores and ride their skateboards. They recently jumped off the Louis Vuitton store sign and are now being sued by Louis Vuitton for $30,000. I don't want to pass judgment, but they told me themselves that they did not have $30,000 just to throw around. I get that. But it seems a little excessive, right? Like, why would Louis Vuitton care? Well, turns out they sold the clip to ESPN, and Louis Vuitton got wind of it. Somebody at their departments probably just said, hey, why not sue? They're vandalizing our stuff is what they claim, I'm guessing. They said that there was $30,000 in damages. Now, damages could be a wide term, but I wouldn't want to be in their situation right now, is all I'm saying. Give me just a sec. So they came by right after they went to go see their lawyer, and they were pretty open about the whole case, which is very surprising to me. I mean, a lawyer usually tells you, shut the fuck up, don't say anything to anybody, we'll handle it ourselves. But they came by and they talked about the whole thing, which was, it was nice, but it was a little nerve-wracking. I mean, it must suck for them to be caught up in some scandal just because they jumped off of a sign with their skateboard. Seems harmless, right? But when you start fucking with big companies, they usually fuck you back. And I hope everything ends well for those guys. I know they have a GoFundMe. And honestly, I think the video and what they did is pretty harmless, but we live in America where people love to sue for everything. So, you know, they got in a little bit of trouble, but they're working it out. So, try to donate to their GoFundMe. Well, I know they have other things, but they need some help. They're cool guys. They came by. We chatted about the whole lawsuit, and I'm very happy that they came by. So, thanks again to the Hall brothers for coming by. Again, if you are not aware of what is going on right now, I do podcasts with bands and creative people, and basically what I'm doing right now is a weekly wrap-up. I'm explaining what I did each day, giving you some insight on the podcast guests, talking about some behind-the-scenes things that maybe didn't come up during the original podcast, just because maybe it wasn't appropriate at the time to bring it up with the guest, but here I am chatting about it now. And also a Q&A. So on YouTube, you can obviously live chat and answering some questions. Want to be more interactive with the people on here. So that's kind of my main goal for doing these Friday weekly wrap-ups at 5 p.m. So it should be a good time. I just started this over because I was having some audio issues, but that has since been fixed. So here we are. I'm about to get on to Tuesday. I'm just double checking the YouTube stuff here. Again, feel free to go in the chat if you like. I'm just double checking some YouTube stuff. Yeah, all right. I'll check that shit later. That's not very important. But for Tuesday, on Tuesday, I was very excited because we finished some shirts for Fellow Robot. Fellow Robot is a band in Long Beach, California, and they are currently working with Donut Sounds Records, who employed Psychic Wave to do their merch. And I was very excited for that. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm having some fucking audio issues, and I can't figure out what the fucking problem is. It's really pissing me off, honestly. If anybody has any advice, please let me know. I'm trying to... Fuck, I fucking hate this, dude. I've been trying to move some shit around and figure out what's going on, but I cannot figure out this audio bullshit. It's like I'm just having this strange audio interference, and it sometimes goes away. Like I can hear it fading out right now. You guys hear that? What the fuck is that? All right. God, I'm so mad about that shit. If anybody knows why I'm getting that like audio interference static sound that just sometimes comes in and goes away, please, for the love of God, let me know, because I'm trying to sort through all this bullshit and make it more professional, but I don't understand computers and technology, honestly. So please help out if you can. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, on Tuesday, we did a t-shirt order, a merch order for Fellow Robot. They have this cool sci-fi sort of twist on a rock and roll band, and they're putting out a new album very soon, and we did some shirts for them. It was nice because we do shirts for a lot of people, but doing t-shirts and merch for bands that we actually love and bands that are really kicking ass right now, doing something cool, it makes the whole thing really worth it. Of course, it's nice to get paid, but when you can get paid and help out a band that you truly enjoy, or anybody creative that you truly enjoy, it makes it all really worth it. And just big shout out to Fellow Robot. I'm very happy that you're happy with the t-shirts, and sell that shit, make some money, and go kick ass across the world, because I'm sure you can do it. So we're very honored to do the merch for Fellow Robot and Donut Sounds Records. That was a great opportunity, and we are very thankful. Thank you. I'm drinking coffee right now, which I don't usually do at 5 p.m. I guess I'm going to be all jittery by the end of this podcast, but fuck it. Got to get my energy up somehow. I'm not going to do lines of cocaine right now, so, coffee will do. Not that I would do cocaine to boost my energy, but look, coffee's the closest thing I can get. I'm not into caffeine pills. I've tried that a few times. Fucking weird. I just prefer coffee. I know it's the same thing. It's caffeine, but holy shit. Caffeine pills fuck me up. Probably was just speed and I didn't know it. They were probably lying to me. But hey, gotta go with the flow, am I right? So once again, this is a live streamed weekly wrap up. I've done these before. I did one live streamed one last week, last Friday at 5 p.m. And I did weekly wrap ups before then, just I never did them live. And so I'm doing them live now as a way to get more interactive with the people using YouTube and kind of just chat it up. And I got the idea of doing live stream podcasts and more specifically Q&As like this through Sam Pepper. Sam Pepper makes a lot of money doing live streams. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not I don't even have anything set up to take money from you folks. But I do want to be more interactive with the people that are watching, and that's why I'm doing this Q&A. So let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday was really exciting for me because I had Danny Bengston, bassist of Together Pangea, on the podcast. Now, if you don't know who Together Pangea is, you're missing out because they fucking rock. Together Pangea makes really, really cool, I guess it would be garage rock, but it sounds super clean and actually has song structure. There's a lot of bands out there that have the sound down but don't really have a catchy song. And Danny Bengston went on to explain that if you stripped down all these other bands' songs and just played it on an acoustic guitar with a singer, it would sound like shit. And I'm inclined to believe him. But Together Pangea is not like that. All their songs are super catchy. They even did put out some acoustic stuff, which for a garage rock band is not unheard of, but it's rare. And that's, I think, how you can tell a good band, is if their songs can be broken down to just a guitar, bass, and singer, and it still rocks. Acoustic guitar. Because I think we can very easily hide behind the effects and the distortion of an electric guitar, but if you've got a solid song behind it, when you strip it down, it will still sound good. There's so many classic rock songs like that, and that's why people do acoustic covers of them all the time. But, you know, you don't really hear acoustic covers of, like, I don't know, Enter Sandman. And if you do, it's more of like a classical guitarist doing some crazy notes. But it's not a conventionally catchy song. You might fight me on that, but I don't think Enter Sandman by Metallica is a catchy song. I think it's a good song, but one I grew out of very quickly. Sorry. It struck me as crazy that Metallica... I mean, I talked to Glenn Shue of Iris, and he was like, yeah, I think Metallica is the biggest metal band in the world. And that fucking was weird to me, because Metallica, to me, has, like... And you can hate me for this, but they're corny, right? Like, when I think of metal, I don't think of Metallica. And I know there's different genres of metal, but Metallica's kind of fucking corny, right? You're gonna hate me for that. But fuck it. I don't give a shit. Anyway, I'm talking about Together Pangea, and more specifically, Danny Bengston, the bassist of Together Pangea. He came by to chat it up. And to give you guys some insight and a little backstory on things that you didn't see if you watched that podcast, he rode his motorcycle from LA to here. Now, you motorcycle riders out there might not think that's a crazy thing, but to me, it was like 40 fucking degrees outside, and the roads in California, the majority of them suck ass. And he rode a motorcycle from LA to here, and it was pretty damn cool. I gotta say, he's got some balls. I don't know if I would do that, but he rode his motorcycle here, set up. We warmed him up in our office. We got some LaCroix for him. He got me onto these LaCroix. There's a few other in my fridge here at the office, and it was a good time. He came by and was really honest about many things, which I'll get to in just a second. So yeah, Danny Bengston of Together Pangea. I think besides having him here because he's in a band that I truly do love, besides just being excited about that, he was very honest about being sober. And he told me his story, why he decided to be sober. It basically boils down to every time he would drink, he would start blacking out more and more. And he quit for a while. And then when he came back, he could handle it for a little bit. He could handle the drinking. And then, as usually happens, after a certain amount of time, he would black out more and more. And one day he woke up with a bunch of crushed powder, like on his bedside table or something. And while he was drunk, he went out and he bought a bunch of like oxycodone or something, some form of pill, some kind of downer. I think it was a benzodiazepine. And he was snorting it, while he was blacked out drunk. And so after that, he went to rehab. He goes to AA meetings, and he's coming up on, I think he said 2 years of sobriety in August or April, one of the A months. So, look, anytime anybody opens up about them going sober and the train wreck that their life used to be, I think it takes balls. And of course, we would wish that people don't get to that point, but that's just not the way the world works. People do get to that point. And for making the decision to go sober and turning his life around and doing, I think, what was necessary for him, I was just very honored that he trusted, or felt comfortable to tell me that story. Not just me, but, live streamed right to the internet. So it meant a lot that he was that honest. I think it takes a lot of cojones, if you know what I mean. But I was just excited for him to be here in general, the bassist of Together Pangea in the Psychic Wave office. Like, you know how many times I've played Together Pangea just off of the speakers in this office, just doing work, doing my normal everyday thing? And then to have him here, it meant a lot. And then to have him be that honest, fuck. It meant a lot. So, again, if you're just checking in, we're doing a weekly wrap-up. I'm doing these every Friday at 5 p.m. This also gives you guys a chance to come into the chat and ask me some questions, and I'll talk to you during this live stream. I want to be more interactive. I've been saying that every once in a while, but, people are coming in and out of the live stream, so I just want to make that clear. This is your chance to ask me some stuff, talk about something, and I'll have a conversation with you. In the meantime, I do a weekly wrap-up of what went on during the week, obviously. And right now I'm talking about Danny Bengston. So, as this podcast has progressed, I've been able to meet more and more with people that I would never have dreamed meeting a year ago. Now, some of you might say, Together Pangea is a big band. They're loved in many different countries, but they're not, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm not talking with Obama, sitting across from me. But I think what is important is to gauge progress. And these are bands that I've loved for a while. And through doing this podcast, I've been able to make friendly connections and get people to come by and sit down with me and talk honestly about their lives. And I think the most important thing for them to know is that I truly do want to hear their story. I think there's a lot of people out there that have podcasts or, even like TV shows. Take Jimmy Fallon, for example. Jimmy Fallon's a really fucking cool guy, but I highly doubt he cares about even half the guests that come on. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't treat them all with respect or take his time and study up on them. But I mean, come on, there's only a handful that he probably really cares about. And most importantly, I want the guests that I have on the show to know that I truly do want to hear their stories. And this isn't just some like gimmicky thing to do just because, I don't know, what, I want to be close to a band, close to a rock star. I want to feel cool. I've had a lot of people this week tell me that they aren't proud of me, which, look, that's a shitty thing to hear, but fuck it. Sometimes you got to hear it. And I've had a lot of people tell me, especially in the past, that they think that me doing this podcast is me just trying to get close with rock stars. And it's a multi-layered thing. Of course, I would like to talk to these people that I've admired for years, or these cool bands that are just coming up, or these crazy artists, these crazy photographers. Of course, who wouldn't want to be in the same room as them? That's my opening statement. But at the same time, I think what they forget is that they wouldn't be in this office with me if I didn't treat them with respect and have at least a little bit of something to offer them. You know, I'm not just going around at shows and going, hey, come on my podcast, come on my podcast. I've been doing this thing for about a year now, and I've been putting in work trying to make the production better, even though I just had audio problems at the beginning of this. I've been trying, you know, and I think although I may not be at the level that some of my family and friends would like me to be, I still have been moving forward. And for that, I'm happy. There's a lot of work to do, but for those people that say I only do this because I want to be close to somebody famous or because I'm fucking narcissistic and just like the sound of my own voice, it's just not true. And I understand your side of the story and the way you're looking at it, but I really do like offering something. And I think what I can offer is a place for creative people to tell their stories. It's not a classic interview style, but I like it that way. I like it to be more of a conversation that's fluid, and I truly hope that some people have found some really cool bands by listening to the podcast. I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it, but it's not some narcissistic thing that I'm doing just to be close to cool people. And I don't know, that kind of shook me up this week. I had multiple people mention that to me, that's how they felt. And they were angry when they were talking to me, but although I see their side of the story, that's just not the way it is. And so that's something that's been weighing heavily on me. And also, even talking about how I feel about certain things and my emotional state has always been hard for me to... I can never tell if I want to say it on the internet, especially live, but I think it's important. I don't think I'm some grand human experiment here, but I think mostly the most important thing that I can do during this podcast is try to be as honest as possible. So that's what I'm doing. This isn't a TV show. This is just me talking, and I want to be as honest as possible. So my point to all that is I was very excited to have Danny Bengston of Together Pangea on the podcast, and this week had a little bit of a bittersweet taste to it, but Danny Bengston coming on was definitely one of the sweetest parts, and he was just so kind and so cool, so thank you for coming on, Danny Bengston of Together Pangea. All right, we got some people. Nani, what the fuck? Vagine, Bobs and Vagine. Dude, Bobs and Vagine will never go out of style. By the way, unless somebody has taken over Nani's account, this is Nani, the lead singer and lead guitarist of the band Bundy. He's a very good friend of mine, and you should go check out his stuff. Bundy is a really cool band from Long Beach. They are actually playing the Continental Room this Monday, the February 11th, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be a fucking great show. So check out Bundy. And Nani, thanks for chatting it up in the live stream. I appreciate it. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Do a live stream chat as well as a weekly wrap-up. You never know how it's going to go, but I'm winging it. We also got Shadab Riaz. He says he likes to kiss Bobs and Vagine. Dude, there's nothing better than kissing Bobs and Vagine. I have not experienced kissing the peen, but I just, I think kissing Bob and Vagine is much more enticing to me. So, sorry. But I agree. There's nothing better than kissing the Bob and the Vagine. And it looks like we have my little brother, Even Skies, Evan Coles, up in the live stream. Hi, Evan. How's it going? Do you think I'm super hipster, Evan, because I'm drinking my LaCroix? Because I enjoy LaCroix? I might be a hipster. You never know. You never know until the end of your life, and you look back and go, fuck, long hair was a bad decision. But that's where I am right now. Anyway, yeah, for those just tuning in, I'm going over a weekly wrap-up. That means that I am going over the podcast guests that I've had on during the week and giving people a chance every Friday at 5 p.m. to come into the live stream and have a chat with me, ask me some things, make fun of my stupid hair and how I wear jewelry, and just have a good chat. So that's what we're trying to do. But what are we on to next? Thursday? Should we talk about Thursday, or should I keep going about Danny Bengston? Oh, by the way, he has a picture, Danny Bengston from Together Pangea. He has a picture on his Instagram of him. It might be for Halloween, or it might have just been for shits and giggles, but he's dressed up as Mr. Clean, and it's fucking hilarious. He looks like eerily like him. And anyway, he's a really cool guy. Most importantly, I'm really happy that he was very candid about going sober. And we share some similar friends. Bobby May, he talked a lot about Bobby May from Burger Records. Matt Schmalfeld from Audacity, Burger Records. He went on tour with Together Pangea to Australia, so that was really cool. And then I also had his good friend Kelsey Reckling on the podcast, and she was very open about her sobriety. And she also, I think she works at a sober living place or a rehab place. I don't know, but man, it's a tough world out there, and we need those people to be super honest. And anyway, thanks, Danny Bengston. I don't know. It was a good conversation. There's some conversations that stick with you for a long time, and that one has been on my mind ever since you drove away on your motorcycle. So yeah, thanks for coming by. It didn't help her weight loss, unfortunately. What didn't help weight loss? Oh, wait. Are you subbed to PewDiePie? Shadab Riaz? No, I am not subscribed to PewDiePie. My little brother is, and I know a lot about PewDiePie, but not subscribed to him. My brother definitely shows me a bunch of his videos, and seems like a funny guy. So, but no, to answer your question. Even Skies, my Brazilian professor would drink LaCroix every day. Oh, okay. It didn't help her weight loss, unfortunately. Yeah, LaCroix, it doesn't have any, okay, so it's sodium free. That doesn't fucking matter. 0 calories. It's got nothing in it. I'm surprised that when you open it, there's shit inside, because it all just says 0 on the nutrition facts. But, yeah, you can't, have a double cheeseburger and extra large fries, drink a LaCroix, and think you're going to lose weight. So, I don't know. I don't know who your Brazilian teacher. Evan, we live in California. Wait, what's a PewDiePie reference? I'm so lost, you guys. I'm so lost. I'm not internet hip. I mean, maybe internet hip, yes, but definitely not YouTube hip. I'm so out of the loop with all this shit, and putting in the time to study all the YouTube jargon, I don't know if I've got that kind of time. So, sorry, you're gonna have to fill me in as we go, but maybe you guys can be my teachers. Aspartame is the reason why it didn't help her lose weight. What's wrong with aspartame? What is that, Evan? Aspartame. All right. Anyway, while you describe to me what aspartame is, I'm going to get talking about Thursday. So that would be yesterday, for those of you that aren't brain dead. I had a podcast with Sammi Sue, and Sammi, funnily enough, is that a word? Funnily? She did the first ever psychic wave photo shoot that we ever had. So back in the day when I had super short hair, no facial hair, Psychic Wave was just a music project thing that I was doing. And I was kind of just recording in my apartment and my girlfriend was playing bass in the band. So we did a photo shoot with Sammi Sue for, I think it was Sonic Bloom magazine, which was really cool. That was Psychic Wave's first photo shoot, and Sammi Sue was the photographer. I haven't seen her, and it has to be at least 4 years. And that's kind of what's funny about the podcast is everything eventually does come full circle, especially in the music and art scene. You end up crossing paths with people that you saw years ago, and it's like no time has gone by. And even though I met Sammi Sue only once before, when she came by the podcast, it was a lot of fun, and I was happy to hear about her travels to Taipei. And I'm ashamed to admit I have no fucking idea where Taipei is. As far as I know, she said it's north of the Philippines and south of China. Does that sound right to anybody, or do I sound super fucking dumb? I bet I sound dumb. Anyway, she goes to Taipei a lot. She's got family out there, but she also works for a company that does a Christmas party out there. And the Christmas party got really lit one year, and somebody peeled off the toilet lid in the bathroom and slapped another guy with it. I guess they were having some business disputes, and so they no longer allow full bars at their Christmas parties. They're only allowed to drink wine, which is kind of a bummer. But the story for why they no longer have a full bar is fucking hilarious. So Sammi Sue informed me a lot about photography, Warped Tour, pop punk, which is a world that I'm not really into, but it was nice to hear about it. Taipei, and it was just good catching up. I hadn't seen her in many years, and it was kind of funny because I looked a lot different the last time we met, and I don't know, time's weird, man. Time's weird. I'm not even old, but I'm starting to get that feeling, and people that are like 5 years older than me, that are in their 30s, they're like, yeah, I feel old. I always tell them to shut the fuck up. Like, you're not old. But, I'm getting that feeling. I'm getting old. I just said it. I became one of those people. But it's true. The slow march of time is killing me. There is no escape. It's okay. But yeah, it gets weird. I'm going to freak out when I turn 30, I think. I'm going to have a public freak out just for you guys, and I'll live stream the whole thing. Yeah, I noticed I was wearing the same shirt as last time, Junk Tramp. That was an unfortunate coincidence. That's why I had to throw on the leather jacket, because I knew the thumbnail would be like way too similar. Who knows? It just happened. I guess I don't have a lot of clothes. I recycle the same things. I'm kind of like just a slightly more fashionable hobo Jesus. I found these rings in the trash can. Somebody got a divorce and they threw the rings and jewelry and necklace away. So I went into the dumpster and I got that. Obviously, I can't afford razors or scissors to cut my hair or shave my face. And I found this leather jacket off of a dead biker. But this is probably, honestly, the nicest sweater I have. So I just wear it every day. And when this one starts to smell, I recycle it for 2 other sweaters that I have. So that's what I do. Trippy for Life 5150. Do you even take showers? Only when it rains. And even sometimes when it does rain, I don't always have soap on me. So your answer is no. I don't take showers. I smell so bad you can probably smell me through the camera. And one time the police were called on me. This is a true fake story, by the way. They were called on me because I was loitering in the back of an AM PM searching for hot dogs that, were only like half eaten into. Sometimes they're too cold and stiff, so people throw them away. I was looking for those hot dogs. And I smelled so bad that when the cops came to tackle me, they didn't. They told me to get the fuck out of there. They said, holy shit, you smell like a bum's butthole. And they kind of just let me go. Luckily, it rained right after that, and I was able to take a shower. But no, I think I've showered 3 times ever. They're not very fun. No. That's not the normal way that I like to touch myself. You know, showers, they just, who needs them, right? Even skies. Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. It is above Indonesia and below China, so you're good. You were right. Actually, Evan, even though I said those words, I was just repeating what somebody else told me, and I have no fucking idea where that is. And even if you showed me a map, I would not be able to point it out. So, but thank you for having some faith in me. I was just memorizing something somebody else told me, but I have no actual awareness of it. Junk Tramp, you actually make shirts for a living. Fuck, that's right. That's what I do. But this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one because it was actually an alpaca that I had growing up. He died from syphilis, and I knitted this sweater from, you know, his fur, and so he's always with me. I really hope to God nobody believes anything I just said, by the way, because I went off on a coffee tangent. The coffee has hit my bloodstream, and I am on one. And I got a little silly and carried away there. So, sorry about that. Yes, there are literally hundreds of shirts 10 feet from me, but as you probably are aware, I get very stuck in my ways, and this sweater has actually cauterized into my flesh. So why take it off, you know? If you've been with something that long, it'd be a shame. It'd be a shame. All right, so as you guys are typing your shit and making fun of me, I'll let you do that for a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys something really cool that happened today. I had lunch with a buddy of mine that I hadn't seen in, I thought, like 7 years, like since junior high. But it turns out, wait, how long was junior high? Yeah, like 7, 8 years, right? Wait. Oh my God. It was way more than that. I don't know why I had to do that math in my head, but it was like 11 years. So, right? Fuck, I'm so dumb sometimes. Even though the coffee's hit, my brain is still working at half capacity, which is half the normal capacity of everybody else's. But anyway, turns out I saw him more recently than that, but I can't remember that moment he was talking about. So, I had lunch with a buddy of mine that I was really close with in junior high that I hadn't seen for a while. And, it was an interesting lunch because he was one of the people that died. I mean, not died. Oh my fucking God. That would be great. I met with a ghost. But no, I'm not trying to fuck around about this. I slipped my words. He was one of the people that was shot in the 2017 Vegas shooting, the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. You know, that the guy that shot everybody out his window of the MGM Grand. My buddy was one of those guys that got shot. He got shot right through the arm. And I've been trying to get together with him to have lunch or something for a while. But, you know, it's a tricky situation to talk to somebody that's been through something like that. Going into the lunch, I had no idea. I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up. I just wanted to reconnect with my old friend, see how he's doing. And if he happens to bring it up, he happens to bring it up. He brought it up pretty quickly and was very open to answer my questions about what happened. I tried to be very sensitive about it, but yeah, a lot of crazy shit happened. There was a lot of people did not make it. I think he said there's something like 58 people. There was probably more than that, but he seemed to be doing okay, which is really nice. He seemed to be just how I remember him. You know, we're a little bit older now. We don't have the same energy as we did when we were 14, but he's doing all right. And it was just nice to see that he wasn't a complete wreck. So, that was pretty good. Trippy for life, 5150. No one got shot. That was a conspiracy. Okay, buddy. Okay. I know there are a lot of conspiracies surrounding what happened, but he definitely got shot, and there were definitely people that died during that. I think you've got to be brain dead if you don't realize that something did go down there. But even my friend who was involved in the shooting, he doesn't completely believe that there was just one shooter. And he talked a lot about how the FBI came to him and basically said, even if we do a full examination of what happened and close this case, you still might not get any answers. And he feels that there's something really fucky with the whole thing. But he can't explain it, and he has his reasons for it, and maybe it's not my place to divulge why he feels that way. I definitely would like for him to come on the podcast. I didn't bring it up to him when I was with him because, it was our first time hanging out. I don't want to just jump right into that. But people definitely died, and he was definitely shot, and he told me a lot of crazy shit. And if he's open to telling his story, I would love for him to come by. I think it would be beneficial for a lot of people, but he was saying even for him, just being able to talk about it makes him feel better, because there was a time where he wasn't able to at all. And there was a time when he was just pumped, filled of like drugs and painkillers. And now he's in a really good place, a lot better place at least. I'm sure it's still going to be a good road that he has to take before he's completely better. And, he's not going to be the same. I don't think you can be the same after you get shot at a music festival. He definitely said that he goes out and in certain places he has crazy anxiety. And then sometimes he goes out and he feels so comfortable because he knows he's been through the worst that can happen, or definitely a super traumatic thing. So, I would like for him to come on, but I didn't want to, it's our first time seeing each other after many years. I didn't want to just make it seem like that's all I wanted from him, because truthfully, that's not it. We were really good friends, and he just went to a different high school than me, and we kind of, lost touch. But it was nice getting together, and he's got a crazy story, man. It'd be great to have him on the podcast. Yeah, Trippy for life. I would love to have him on the podcast. Even Sky's microphone sounds great. No, my voice sounds great. The microphone is just picking up the greatness that is my voice. Jesus Christ, Evan, get it together. For those of you that don't know, Even Skies is my little brother, Evan. So that's why I'm talking shit. Let's see, we're at 43 minutes here streaming. All right, let me, well, I guess that was the week that went on, but we had a lot of cool things. So to wrap it up, on Monday, the Hall brothers came by to talk about their Louis Vuitton $30,000 lawsuit. If you missed the beginning, the Hall brothers jumped off of a Louis Vuitton sign and filmed it. They jumped off with their skateboards. That clip was sold to ESPN. Someone at Louis Vuitton saw it, and now they're being sued for $30,000. So they came on the podcast on Monday to kind of talk about that, and the dangers of what they were doing and how they're going to film from here on out. And it was a good one. It was their first podcast, which was kind of crazy to me. I think they did really well. They were a little shy at first, but they're guys that have shit going on in their lives, so there was no shortage of things to talk about. And they're brothers that are in business together, and they were talking about how they fight and moving to California, what the girls are like back where they're from. It was a funny one, and I enjoyed having them on. So that was Monday. Tuesday, it was really nice to do merch for Fellow Robot. we do merch for a lot of different bands and a lot of cool people, but to do merch for Donut Sounds Records and Fellow Robot, a really cool Long Beach band. I mean, that meant a lot, and I am super happy that they're happy with their t-shirts. So they picked that up on Tuesday, I think, and it was nice. It was nice. It's good doing work in general. It's nice getting paid. It's the truth. But it's even nicer when you can work with somebody that you think's kicking ass. And Fellow Robot is kicking ass. They have a new album coming out April, I believe. And they were so nice. They gave me their a copy of their first record. I had Anthony, the lead singer, come by, and it was a lot of fun. So that was Tuesday. Hey, we got some guests in the podcast right now. My dad and little brother just walked in the office. What's up, Ryan? But yeah, so that was Tuesday. And then let's see. Wednesday, Danny Bengston from Together Pangea. That was a good time. He was very, he rode in on his motorcycle, and he was honest about his sobriety, which was a crazy story. He has had a wild life, but for a dude who's traveled all over with the band, 2 years sober is not half bad. Really happy for him. Glad that he's in a better place now. That was Wednesday. Really excited to talk with Together Pangea, the bassist of Together Pangea. They're a band that I really like. And Thursday, that's yesterday, we did the podcast with Sammi Sue, the photographer that did Psychic Wave's first ever photo shoot. It was funny seeing her 4 years later. Hadn't seen her since. She opened up about lots of genres of music that I'm not used to, what it's like to get press passes at places like the Observatory, shooting pictures for the Growlers in December. Really cool stuff. She's a cool person. And then, of course, today, lunch with my friend who I hadn't seen in many years that was involved in the 2017 Vegas shooting. So there was a lot of stuff that went on. I don't even know if I've processed all of it yet, but it definitely, it was a week. It was a week. They're asking if this is JR Jr. Did you see that? I don't know who JR Jr. is, but no, it's not. All right, so we're getting towards the end here. We're about 50 minutes. Just to wrap it up, every Friday at 5 p.m., I do a weekly wrap-up where I go over the podcast guests that have come on. I give some insight into some things that happened before and after the podcast that maybe the viewers didn't get to see, and maybe tell some funny stories about how the podcast went down. Also, to be more engaging with the viewers every Friday at 5 p.m., you can go into the chat. We can actually have a conversation. I think it's good to be more interactive. I don't always have the time for it, so I'm trying to set aside every Friday at 5 p.m., do about an hour of a wrap-up and a Q&A. And last week it was really, really fun. This week it's been fun as well. I do have to get out of here soon. Did ESPN pay the Hall brothers for their video, Trippy for Life 5150? I don't know how that whole exchange went down. The words that I were told is that it was sold to ESPN. I don't know who sold it. I don't know how that works. I didn't ask them that when I was mentioning the lawsuit in general, and when I got to talking about ESPN, I don't know how much they wanted to say about what was sold or what was made, but I do know once it was on ESPN, Louis Vuitton probably got wind of it, and that's kind of what set off the whole thing. Because, of course, ESPN has a huge audience, and they were able to I don't know. He's Louis Vuitton just decided, might as well sue. Might as well get some money. I have been drinking this coffee for an hour. At the beginning, it was warm. And now, if you can guess, it is cold. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody that was in the comments. Again, I will do this every Friday at 5 p.m. or I'll try my fucking best to do that. It's something that I do look forward to. It helps me kind of process what's gone on during the week. And it also pushes me to do interesting shit so that I have something to talk about. And this week wasn't too bad. Monday, the Hall Brothers. Tuesday, doing merch stuff for Fellow Robot. I was really happy to do stuff with a band that I truly like. So Tuesday was a good day for me. And then Wednesday, Danny Bengston of Together Pangea, a band I truly love. That was really fun. Thursday, a photographer that I hadn't seen in many years. And then today, lunch with an old friend of mine, one of my old best friends, who was also in the 2017 Vegas shooting. So a lot of shit happened. I'm about to get out of here and do some more stuff that I can't tell you right now, but next Friday you'll hear about it because it's kind of a surprise. So, shh. All right, guys. Thanks for being in the chat. Have a good one.